Hello, I'm Aayush Mengane, and this is my scenario about neuroscience. So, what is neuroscience? Well, the official definition is, neuroscience examines the structure and function of the human brain and nervous system. Neuroscientists use cellular and molecular biology, anatomy and physiology, human behavior and cognition, and other disciplines to map the brain at a mechanistic level. So, neuroscientists study the brain to understand how its parts work fundamentally and how they work together. The brain is the most complicated organ in the human body, and we're still not sure how some of it works. The basic cell of the brain is the interneuron. An interneuron transfers signals using electrical impulses. The order of the interneurons that fire up an electrical impulse is how you remember information and can do a certain motor test, such as pick up your headphones, drink a glass of water, or write down a phone number. Because the brain has an average of 86 billion interneurons, this allows for tremendous amounts of data storage. Let me tell you about the magnitude of 86 billion. If Heinz Field was a stadium for neurons, it would take 1,258,000 Heinz Field Stadiums to get a place for every single neuron. This is as many Heinz Fields as there are people in Dallas, Texas. If each little photo that you see represented 2,000 Heinz Field Stadiums, this is how many of them you would need to have a place for every single interneuron in the average brain. Neuroscientists think that the brain has a storage capacity of 50 terabytes and a processing capacity of 10 to the 20 flops. This means that the brain has a storage capacity of 100 iPhone 11 Max Pros and a processing capacity 100 times as much as a supercomputer. So, let me clear up a few misconceptions about this super powerful ultracomputer. Right-brained and left-brained people. A 2013 study in the University of Utah showed that activity was similar on both sides of the brain, regardless of one's personality. They looked at the brains of more than 1,000 young people between the ages of 7 and 29 and divided the different areas of the brain into 7,000 regions to determine whether one side of the brain was more active or connected than the other side. No evidence of sidedness was found. The authors concluded that the notion of some people being more left-brained or more right-brained is more of a figure of speech than an anatomically accurate description. 10% of the brain used. This is just wrong. Humans use 100% of the brain, just not at the same time. And when you are awake, you're using much more than 10% of the brain. For example, right now you're listening to what I am saying using the temporal lobe, and your heart is beating, and your lungs and diaphragm are moving thanks to your midbrain. This comes to around 30% of brain activity. However, you can use much more of your brain. You can do this by doing something that challenges you. For example, solving a hard riddle or completing a hard level in a video game, along with learning a new instrument or a language. This would amount to somewhere between 50 to 80% of high-level brain activity. Just doing something hard or challenging forces your brain to compile the knowledge it has to create new neural pathways and learn something new. This also has a lot of benefits. If you're exercising your brain, you're strengthening it. You get a feeling of achievement after learning something new. And you also get another skill to add to your skill set. Only 5 senses. First, let me define a sense. A sense is a faculty by which the body perceives an external stimulus. An external stimulus can be any outside information reaching your nervous system, so this can be any sense of where you are and how you feel as a result of the sense. As a result, you have thermoception, or the sense of heat. You will put on a sweater if you're feeling cold. The skin provides you with this sense. You also have proprioception, or a sense of where your limbs are. This is why you can touch your nose with your finger even though your eyes are closed. This sense is generated by the cerebellum and hypothalamus by constant input from all over the body. This lets your brain to create a 3D model of where you are in comparison to the space around you. I've only mentioned a few of the senses you have. There are much, much more. Listening to music increases IQ. Listening to music makes you smarter so trivially it doesn't show up in IQ tests. However, playing any type of music increases IQ significantly. This is because the musical part of your brain overlaps with the visual spatial part that analyzes visual stimuli and synthesizes them into signals the brain can understand. So, if the musical part of the brain is exercised, the visual spatial region is also exercised. Furthermore, because intelligence tests have a focus on visual spatial reasoning, your IQ will increase significantly the more you practice your instrument. Multitasking is possible. Multitasking is straight out impossible. You can't do two things at once. The brain is programmed to do just one thing at one time. If you think you're doing two things at once, you really are just switching between the tasks imperceptibly and not giving each task your full focus. In a study by the Stanford University students, they analyzed how their fellow classmates supposedly multitasks. The following was the most common scenario. A student is on social media and is writing an essay at the same time. They're not going to grasp everything they see on their phone because they're doing their essay. And their full focus is not going to be on their essay either because they're on their phone. All in all, they didn't get the best experience in either activity and have probably decreased their essay grades significantly. Plus, multitasking can have much more serious consequences on the brain. It affects short-term and working memory because the brain is getting two different streams of data from two activities. This, according to a study from the University of California, San Francisco, causes a general increase in stress and anxiety. Furthermore, it can decrease your productivity by as much as 10% in the following week. Multitasking on important work has about the same cognitive impact as losing a night of sleep. So, this is all. Thanks for watching and listening.